Hello, my name is John Sebesta, and I'm the editor of the UN Chronicle, the online magazine of the United Nations. This is Chronicle Conversations. Our guest today deserves a full introduction. Inge Auerbacher was born in Kippenheim, Germany. At the age of 7, she was imprisoned at the Theresienstadt concentration camp in what is now the Czech Republic. Out of the 15,000 children imprisoned at Theresen, very few survived. In 1946, Inge emigrated to the United States and has lived there ever since. Inge's school career began at age 15 after a bout of tuberculosis that she contracted at the camp. The Holocaust had caused her a loss of 8 years of education, but Inge went on to earn a bachelor's degree in chemistry. She worked for 38 years as a chemist in medical research and clinical work. Inge is the author of 6 books, and her work has been published in 9 languages. She's also written a multitude of published poems, some of which have been set to music and recorded. Inge has appeared in print and media and on the radio and television in several countries. Inge has been lecturing on the Holocaust since 1981 and has spoken to close to 1 million people around the world. Multiple documentary films have been made about her. Some of them have won awards. Inge is the recipient of 2 honorary doctorates, 2 prestigious awards from the government of Germany, the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, the Louis E. Yavner Citizen Award presented by the New York State Board of Regents, and many other citations. And now we are honored and thrilled to have Inge Auerbacher here with us in the UNTV studio for a Chronicle conversation. Welcome, Inge.
Thank you so much for your invitation. I'm the one who's honored.
Oh no, please, we're so happy to have you with us. So as we were talking about before, you've been traveling quite a bit and speaking to people all over the world, and you've reached out to a lot of different groups, in particular young people.
Yes.
So why do you think it's still important that young people understand your story, and why is it relevant for them?
Because, you have to catch people when they are young. It starts with the young. When you can, teach young people what evil is and what love is. It's the most important thing because they are indoctrinated by older people and by their peer groups, which is not always correct. Many times it's not correct. They have to hear the truth about evil and what love is. So it's very important to get the young people, especially the very young children, in the prime when they are very, engaged to accept all these new ideas.
Right. And so I've heard and I've read this before that hate has to be learned from somewhere.
Absolutely, it has to be learned.
And that if we can...
It has to be taught.
Right, it has to be taught.
Just like the song.
Exactly. But if we can intervene at an early age, we can sidestep some of that.
But you can also intervene when they are older.
True.
Older people can learn too.
And do you reach out to older folks as well?
Absolutely. And for instance, I live in Queens, New York, the most diverse place in the whole country, in America. I live in a block. We're all connected to each other, the houses. I live between a Hindu family, very religious family from Guyana, British Guyana, now it's called Guyana. And right next to, I'm in the middle, is a very devout Muslim family from Bangladesh, and then there's a Christian family. I'm Jewish. So 4 religions next to each other, like each other.
Everybody gets along.
And we get along. We share our churches, places of worship. Some of them have visited my synagogue. I've visited the Hindu temple.
Wow.
I've been to many mosques in my life. It is the not knowing, not getting involved in somebody else's life. That causes hatred. Not knowing.
So you think that your message is still very relevant for children today? Do you see something happening in the world that
yes,
reminds you of
even
what you went through?
more today than ever before. Hatred is so prevalent today, and more so than ever. We have to. As I walked through the United Nations today, and I said, this place is so relevant, and I hope we keep that message of this oneness, which it should have the voice to be the place where we can come to give a voice to every country. And I want this to be that place, to continue and not falter.
A lot of it's about hate. A lot of the problems originate in hate. So love is a counterbalance to that and an antidote to that. So maybe we need to talk more about that. Now, I know that you are celebrating your birthday, or you have just celebrated your birthday.
Yes, December 31.
December 31st, and you're still celebrating, as you should, because it's a very important
It's a special
thing.
day.
It is a very special day.
Right.
Now, I heard you're doing something special this time around with the children of PS 22.
Yes, tomorrow, in fact, and we have a new song.
Yes, I was just going to ask you about that.
That was just now written. I wrote the lyrics. I mean, they were tweaked a little bit. They actually appear in my first book that I've written quite a few years ago. It's in print 30 years. I am a star, child of the Holocaust, published by Penguin, 30 years in print.
Beautiful. You want to show that to the camera there?
Yeah, I would like to show it.
There you go. And so this is one of the many books that you've
I've written 6.
Okay, and is this a book of poetry, or is this?
No. It has a lot of prose, and it's in many languages. So
wonderful.
Published by Penguin in America. This is the 30-year printing of it. And the poem is in there as peace. I never thought it would be a song, but it has been tweaked to make it a song. And there are 3 people on that song. I wrote most of the words. They have been tweaked.
Beautiful.
Madeline Stone, the music, and Alvin Love, who also helped us out. He's a Nashville writer. And his mother is very famous gospel writer and singer in Nashville. C.C. Winans,
and
very famous.
Where will we see this song?
Well,
can
tomorrow
we
are, we're recording it. I hope you will see it on YouTube very soon.
Terrific. Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, if we can, we'll try to put a link to it
yes,
when this
as soon
is
as
finished
it's
and we
out.
edit this.
Yes,
that would be great.
I want the whole world to hear it. Actually, I would like that song, "World of Peace," will be that's the title.
Okay.
To be sung in every language. I want this to be the hymn for 2020, because it is now 75 years ago that World War II ended. It is also the 75th anniversary of the end of the concentration camps.
Right.
Anniversary of Auschwitz. But my camp was the last camp to be liberated.
Yes, I've heard this.
My camp was liberated by the Soviet army.
Right,
the last one.
We were talking about this a little bit before, and you said, "Can I wear my Russian shawl?" And I said, "Of course." Would you want to talk about that a little bit and why you're honoring the Russian shawl?
Well, I went last year to Moscow and St. Petersburg, because they had the play that was done by children, Brundibar, in St. Petersburg, and I was invited to speak at the production at the Mariinsky Theater, very large theater. I was not part of the production. I didn't speak Czech. I speak German.
Sure.
But I saw it, and they wanted me to come. And I was also invited to see the major parade that they have every year, the Victory Parade on May 9th. I don't know why they choose May 9th, but maybe a correction in the day of liberation.
Yeah.
I remember our liberation was May 8th.
Okay.
But one of my wishes was to say thank you to the Russian nation for liberating me. And I found out that the general, I think they call him in Russian the marshal, was Marshal, what was his name? Rybalko, right, Rybalko. There's so much in my head.
Sure, of course.
Marshal Rybalko liberated us, his regiment. And my absolute wish and dream has been to go to his grave.
Have you been able to do that? You did.
I went to his grave. I brought flowers to his grave, the same colors as the flag of the Russian nation. Red, white, and blue, the same as we have. They have also the hammer and sickle,
yes,
the red one. And from the rabbi of the chief rabbi of Russia, Berl Lazar, told one of his people to go with me and say prayers at his grave of thanksgiving. So he went with me. Only 2-3 people went with me. I did not want any news to be in, well, just in the paper that they wanted, but not in the AP and make a big,
you didn't want it all
you
over.
know, I wanted this to be very serious and personal, not to make a big spectacle out of this, which probably it would have been. I don't think anybody ever said thank you to the Russian nation for saving my life.
And so
I wanted it this way.
And you left flowers at his grave.
Yes,
finally.
I did.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you got a
Yes,
chance to
and
do
we
that.
said prayers too of thanksgiving.
Had you met the marshal when you
No,
were
I did
when
not.
you were liberated? No. Okay.
No,
You were too
but
young.
I remember when they came, and we had, of course, we had barbed wire and there were fences all over the place, and brick fences also, brick. And I remember the first, I climbed one of those fences, and the first good piece of bread a Russian soldier handed me, a black piece of bread with what seemed like a mountain of butter over the fence. I never forget
forgot
that.
Yeah.
Yes, first good piece of bread.
Now, I know you have a couple of things you'd like to show us here today. I
Yes.
think they're really important historically.
Yes.
If you'd like to go ahead. I know you wanted to start maybe with this.
Yeah, well, it really started, the Holocaust, for me, it started with Crystal Night, the Night of Broken Glass, which happened November 9th and 10th, 1938. In Austria and in Germany. By us, it happened. I mean, I was born in Kippenheim, which is very close, southwest Germany, near France and Switzerland. And a little village of about 2,000 people. By the way, my father was a disabled war veteran from World War II, had the Iron Cross. My grandmother was one out of, my mother's family, was one out of 14 children. She had 4 brothers in World War I who fought with the German. Of course, we lived, Jews lived in Germany over 1,000 years. 4 were fighting in the German army, and 2 of her brothers gave their lives for Germany, and then they killed some of the other, including my grandmother.
I'm sorry, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So,
So here is a picture of the destroyed synagogue.
Is this your synagogue?
My synagogue, which was on November 10th, 1938. I was not even 4 years old at that time. All the men from the age of 16 were sent to concentration camps. My father and my grandfather, who they had just come to visit us, were sent to Dachau. And very bad conditions. We never wanted to leave Germany.
No, I'm sure that was your home.
I mean, my father said, I'm a German. I have the Iron Cross, high, medal and all that. What should happen to us? And what's interesting here is people were watching, the onlookers, and nobody cared. The onlookers.
Incredible.
And this is something for us to think about. Do we stand by when things happen in Africa or any other countries? People think, well, those are, the poor people here and there. It's so far away. And that's a lesson for the United Nations, for us. Because who is the United Nations? It's us.
It's everyone, yeah.
We care. We must care for everybody.
That's a very powerful message.
Now, for instance, today, we have a lot of anti-Semitism, and I call it what it is. Now, okay, that's that.
Yeah.
And then it started with the deportation. And first, actually, we had to wear the yellow star.
This I find
Yes.
really fascinating.
And with the word Jude, Jew, in Hebrew-like letters. Everybody from the age of 6 on in Germany and in Austria had to wear this star. You had to put it in, you know, you had to
You had to
sew it
onto your
on,
clothes, yeah.
and you had to buy the stars.
That's incredible.
And by the way, the damage that they made on the day of Crystal Night, we had to pay for. We had a large house, 18-room house. We had to pay when they broke all the windows and everything, and we had to pay. And my mother put a backing on that you could, you know, even stitch it on. And on the outside, you had to wear this.
Amazing.
And with the Hebrew-like letters, of course, later on you had different languages, Yod in Dutch and Juif in French. So at age 6. And school, of course, I had about actually only 6 months of school. That's it. I barely could read and write because children were not allowed, Jewish children were not allowed to go to school with the other children. There was segregation.
Incredible.
So, and then, of course, the transports began. And one day we got an order for transport. This is a copy of the actual order for transport.
Incredible.
Actual. It was photographed by the Holocaust Museum in Washington. My number was here, but it had some more numbers. Roman numeral 13-1-408. I did not receive a number on my arm. That was only in Auschwitz. None of the other camps had numbers,
know that.
but I had a number, which was in a way tattooed on my soul and heart.
Incredible.
I never forgot it, and it's just, and all the things that you could take along and not. And I was the youngest in a transport of close to 1,100, 1,200
Wow.
people. I was 7 years old,
Wow.
the youngest.
Incredible.
At the end, there were very few survivors, very, very few. And that was like 6 pages. I only have a page here, what it looks like today.
Now, I know that we're kind of running out of time a
Yes.
bit here, but I know you wanted to read something
Yes.
at the end here, and maybe you could do
Well,
that quickly.
we were in a place, we were supposed to go somewhere else. This transport went to Terezin. They had a lot of prominent people there and disabled war veterans. And we were, of course, you could read my book, so you can find out.
Sure.
My legacy, actually, my story is in 3 books, not only one. This was one. And we shared a very tiny room, bunk beds, with a family from Berlin. They had 1 child, the same age as me. Her name was Ruth. Father was a disabled war veteran. He was half Jewish, and the mother totally. But Ruth was brought up as a devout Christian. And they went to Auschwitz,
still went
and
to
she was
Auschwitz.
killed before her 10th
No,
birthday.
sorry to hear that. That was your friend.
And this is the only picture that is available. Maybe she was maybe 3, 4 years old, and now I found, actually somebody found through very difficult circumstances, this picture. It's not a great one, but I am in touch now with some of her relatives, a little bit distant, and I met them. It was a
Great.
wonderful situation. And one day I was sitting in my kitchen where I write, and I'm thinking, what did she feel like when she was walking with her mother into the gas chamber? Because the children went most of the time with the mothers into the gas chamber, and the men were different place selected, all for work, etc. Not all of them. I mean, he walked with a limp, so right away the gas chamber. Maybe they went even together, who knows. But as soon as they got off the train, they were gassed. And the poem is called Hold Me Tight. You get the feeling of what it was like. Come with me, my child. Hold my hand. Be calm, my child. Do not try to understand. Don't be afraid, my child. Walk with pride. You know your mother is here at your side. Hold me tight. Day has turned to night. Soon we'll see the light. A mother's giving hope when there is no more hope. No, no, don't look at the chimneys. See the blue sky. My arm is around to protect you. Don't cry. Come close. Let the blows fall on me. There'll be again, when again we'll be free. Hold me tight, day has turned to night. Soon we'll see the light. Give all your belongings to them, quickly undress. One day soon we will again have happiness. Sleep, my child, I have no more to give. Oh God, we are not going to live. Day has turned to night. Hold me tight.
It's hard to recover from that, even hearing it. It's terrible. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. So, unfortunately, ending on a down note here,
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. For more information on Inge's fascinating life and mission, please visit her website at ingeauerbacher.com. For in-depth analysis and opinion on what's happening throughout the UN system, and for more Chronicle conversations, please visit our website at un.org/chronicle. You can stay up to date with the UN Chronicle by following us on Twitter and Facebook. And as always, I'd like to thank our colleagues at UNTV for the use of their studio and for their assistance. And of course, a very heartfelt thank you to Inge Auerbacher for sharing her story with us and her time today. Again, we are truly honored, and I can't express how happy I am that I've gotten to meet you and speak with you here today. And I think your message of love is one that we all need to hear.
A little bit of hopefulness.
Sure, yeah.
My hope, my wish and prayer is for every child to grow up in peace without hunger and prejudice. Shalom, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
For the whole world.
Thank you, and that's our mission here too at the UN.
Right.
And thank you all for joining us too. For the UN Chronicle and Chronicle Conversations, I'm John Sebesta. Take care.